Hello and welcome to the inaugural BikeWale track day. We have 4 motorcycles with us today that we know are ridden on the street. But how good can they be on a racetrack? So we've got a bike each from TVS, from Yamaha, from Benelli, and finally from Ducati. This here is the TVS Apache 200 4V. The RTR is a perfect compromise between street and track. It has suspension that is good for the road and yet doesn't feel too soft for the track. It's the same thing with the foot pegs. They are a little rear set but not uncomfortably so for the street, but on the track again, they work. This engine is a new engine with 4 valves and it makes 20 horsepower. Again, it's quite fuel efficient for the street, but on the track, it's quite exciting as well. Added to this, the dash records your 0 to 60 time, lap time, and your highest recorded speed. So this gives you a lot more information when you go out onto the track. And finally, you get 2 choices of tires for the RTR. The inexpensive one is a set of MRF tires, and with a little more money you can spec it with Pirelli tires. These are Angel CT tires and they work really well for this bike out on the racetrack. We don't have ABS on our motorcycle and yet these tires give us a lot of confidence to brake hard and turn hard. These are the things we like about the TVS Apache RTR 200 4V. Just about the only thing we don't like about the Apache is its name. It's just too long. But make no mistake, we all love riding it around the track. Up next we have the Yamaha YZF R3. Now this is a class above the RTR in terms of displacement at 320cc, in terms of cylinder count at 2 cylinders, and also has twice the power at 42 horsepower. The R3 is quite similar to the RTR in some ways. The seating position is a good compromise between comfort on the street and a crouch on the racetrack. It's the same thing with the engine. 41 horsepower doesn't sound like very much, but it's easy to ride on the street and it's a lot of power for good overtaking maneuvers, but out on the track the novice will still find it exciting. And needless to say, we all spent a lot of very enjoyable time on this motorcycle as well. Following a multiples of 2 is our next bike as well, the Benelli TNT 600i. It has twice the number of cylinders as the R3 at 4 cylinders and it also has roughly twice the power at 83 horsepower. However, it is a little pokey at 231 kilos. And that makes it a little bit of a handful on the track, which means it just doesn't feel adequate out on the track with just 83 horsepower. The brakes also don't feel up to the task of stopping so much mass. And when you're in the corner, it doesn't feel very adjustable either. However, once you have it settled on the correct line, it holds its line very well. Of course, the best bit about the Benelli is the scream of that inline-4 engine. It revs all the way to 10,500 RPM and it makes a wonderful sound while doing it. This isn't a bike we enjoyed thoroughly out on the racetrack, although it does handle decently. But if you have a desire to take your motorcycle out onto the track, maybe the 600i isn't the best one for you. And finally, the sun's come out just in time for me to introduce the Ducati 959 Panigale. No, it does not have twice the number of cylinders as the Benelli, but what it has is twice the power at 156 horses. This is a bike that is light and as compact as the Yamaha R3. Now Ducati markets it as the smaller of the 2 Panigales, but oh my god, look at it. It harks back to the 916 and it has beautiful details of its own. Just look at those recesses next to the tail lamp or even the rear shock. It hides its engine under a beautiful fairing. But the best part about this bike is that it is more than enough for a racetrack like this one at Chennai. The engine is so torquey that it shrinks each straight into a short hop between two corners. In the corner, you can trust the electronics to keep you planted and go through the corner with a smile on your face. But it can be scary in the wet. So if you're a novice rider, maybe this isn't the best bike to pick as your first track bike. But anyone with an intermediate rider skill level or above will really enjoy this bike. It's got a ton of electronics, and whenever the sun allowed us to come out and play with it, we had an absolute ball. Whatever track day comes next, we know we'd like this motorcycle back. That's for sure. It's been a strange sort of day with the sun coming and going and the rain playing spoil sport. So we've had our moments with the bikes, both in the wet, which weren't so pleasant, and in the dry, which were amazing. But that doesn't change the fact that having a track to yourself can be a lot of fun. Now, some of these bikes exceeded our expectations, some of them fell below our expectations. But that doesn't change the fact that we enjoyed ourselves a lot. Now, if you'd like to comment below and let us know what bikes you'd like to see at the next BikeWale track day, we'll try and make that happen.